Even attacked Nick's sister at some point, saying Ella is mid, no talent.
So the irony for me is the fact that she was spreading hate online.
Cierra is the only content I watch from the show, which is hard to believe. Like, is there really a Cierra super fan out there that only watches content from Cierra? See, that's the kind of stuff that makes me go, hmm. What's up, everyone? Wanted to give my take on some of these Love Island USA stories that have been breaking over the past few days. Although I just feel like maybe people are trying to squeeze the last bit of drama out of last season before the new season begins in just a little under 2 weeks. The first thing I want to talk about is the alleged situation of Cierra having a burner account on Instagram and Threads. I do want to say that this is all speculation. It's all alleged. But over the weekend, the social media was running wild with this theory about Cierra. And I will say, usually where there is smoke, there is fire. And this account online that is Caddy92P on Instagram and Threads, for a long time, only had one follower and one friend. And as you can see in the screenshot, that one person is Cierra Ortega from season 7 of Love Island USA.
Exhibit A, when you try to log in as this account, the email is very close to looking like Cierra Ortega, name. That's very sus. Also, the obvious, Cierra is the only one following this person.
And it is an interesting thing because we're going to dive into a lot of the comments that are either defending Cierra or attacking Nick and Olandria on this Caddy92P account. So yeah, I mean, that alone, that Cierra was the only one following this person, strange. Definitely strange. And then if you go over some of the comments from this account, a lot of it is usually attacking Nick and Olandria because, of course, Cierra would have beef against Nick and Olandria. And, I can see why Cierra would feel some kind of way about Nick. I've always said that. I mean, Nick did keep choosing her on Love Island until she was removed. But the comments are a lot of her calling, Caddy92P, calling Nick and Olandria business partners, saying, I love, this was perfect, Cierra is the sweetest, stock who musty man. A lot of defenses of Cierra here. A lot of people over the months calling out this account for being Cierra. As you can see, this is back in March, always chiming in when there's something about Nick to be said, saying you forgot Nick raised his hand to get to know the new bombshell. Talking about the comments from Nick about the quick sex sessions with Cierra that he had while he was in the game. Calling Nick the stalker, saying Nick is a stalker. He takes all her things and lingo. Creepy guy. It's one of those accounts. There's plenty of accounts, though, that are obsessed with these Love Island people. But a lot of comments about the sexual relations between Nick and Cierra when they were in Love Island together, saying, no, it's not. It's up to the lousy men who can't last. He can't handle it. You wish, glad he did. She deserved better than him, a man who cheats on Olandria all the time. I don't give a fuck what he regrets. He is nothing, just a man who pissed on a toilet seat and last 20 seconds. So yeah, a lot of attacks on Nick more than anything, but also defending Cierra when someone said that Cierra got called out for cultural appropriation last week. This account says Cierra is literally indigenous. How can she appropriate that culture? Defending Cierra for having black friends. Was commenting on something Nick said one time, saying that he didn't realize Iris and TG are getting death threats. I was just making a joke. Let's all relax. We both young, hustling entrepreneurs. This account said, shut up. Your fans literally threatened Cierra for going to the upcoming Coachella event yesterday. A spineless man. Even attacked Nick's sister at some point, saying Ella is mid, no talent. And then this account with all of the stuff happening with Cierra on Summer House, This account says I'm on both Cierra's sides. It is an account that is obsessed with defending Cierra and an account that is obsessed with attacking Nick. The account saying that Cierra is the only content I watch from the show, which is hard to believe. Like, is there really a Cierra super fan out there that only watches content from Cierra? See, that's the kind of stuff that makes me go,
The thing is, Cierra literally put out like a whole video the other day talking about, reality TV and being kind and this and that, da 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 da. So the irony for me is the fact that she was spreading hate online to Alandra and Nick. That was weird. That is weird.
You see, like, I never touched upon Sierra's video that she made a few weeks ago about how you need to be kind to the upcoming cast of Love Island USA, which is a sentiment that I agree with because social media does go too far. When you got death threats against Love Islanders, it does get ridiculous. But I never took that message from Cierra seriously because I don't take Cierra seriously. And this is the right thing to say because whether this account actually was Cierra's burner account or not, the fact that Cierra was the only follower means that she agreed with the sentiment of this account, which was always attacking Nick and Olandria. So either Cierra was this burner account, not being kind to fellow Love Islanders, or she was clearly a big fan of a random account who was only attacking Nick and Olandria. So yeah, her little message about be kind, she doesn't follow that, obviously, or she doesn't care about it if it's Nick and Olandria that are getting the heat.
Like, I totally get defending yourself and wanting to defend yourself. You guys are fucking relentless, me included. I'm relentless too. But I am also someone that's online, so at any given moment, y'all could even turn on me. I mean, it happens, right?
We are relentless on social media. That is a fact. And this could even be relentlessness against Cierra if this really wasn't her account. However, I still contend her being the one follower of this account is either guilt or she clearly liked the content from this account. Online, we all gotta deal with all of the rude comments, the hate. I mean, you should see the comments I get from psycho pro wrestling fans if you just critique something in pro wrestling, a not real sport. But yeah, Cierra came out to defend herself saying, hey, so if I wanted an account to be secret, why would I publicly follow? Never mind. Anyway, haven't opened this app in years. Hi, I'm packing for Europe. Yay. So she's just opening a Threads account in years, apparently, just to say, why would I publicly follow my secret account? I don't know. That's a question. That's an interesting question. Is Cierra dumb enough to follow the account that is her burner account and look that guilty? I suspect yes, because if there's anything we learned from Love Island Beyond the Villa, these are not the smartest people we're dealing with. And that leads me to the next topic, that is Amaya, who is getting a lot of flack over the past 2 days for a photo she posted of a tattoo that she got that is a Muslim saying, which is a word for God has willed it. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw that people were upset with Amaya for posting a picture of her foot, I thought she was getting hate for those talons, for those claws. Because do you see how long her big toenail is? Like, it's long enough to do some damage. But that's not what it was. It was about the tattoo that she got. People are up in arms because it's on her foot. And why would you disrespect God by putting this tattoo on your foot? And apparently people in the Muslim community do see that as not a respectful thing to do. Look, there's two things I don't talk a lot about on this channel because people get so in their feelings about it, and that is politics and religion, because you're gonna offend someone some way. And that is what happened here. But I don't think Amaya was trying to offend. I just think that she is not the brightest. And she went and got this tattoo on her foot. And I don't think at all she saw it as a sign of disrespect. I don't think that thought process went through her head at all.
Because why would you think that tattooing mashallah on your foot would be okay, would be acceptable? Like, what the fuck goes through that chick's head? I swear to God. And then her whole little paragraph apology to say she didn't know it was offended, she thought she was walking with God, etc., etc. Would you not look into it before doing such a thing?
Look, I don't have any tattoos. I'm gonna keep it real. I've never came up with something so important that I just had to get it tattooed on me. So I don't get the concept of getting something tattooed without the research. I do think that is kind of dumb. However, do I think that social media tries to find anything to cancel someone, especially for these Love Islanders? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I think people are being very over dramatic about this with Amaya. Because do I think that even 75 to 80% of the comments against Amaya for this tattoo are actually from people that are Muslim? No, I don't. I really don't think that. I think it is people jumping on board to attack Amaya and try and cancel her over something because they don't like her from Beyond the Villa. I didn't like Amaya on Beyond the Villa either. But like, I think people are bored, still looking for drama with these season 7 Love Islanders. We don't know what to do with ourselves until season 8 starts in 2 weeks. So this is a one last thing to attack Amaya for. She did give an apology on Twitter, saying, "My last time speaking about this on X, but the reason why I decided to place it on my foot was to represent God's will and always walking with him / protected by him. I apologize if I offended anyone and will do better to educate myself, but saying I intended to purposely be disrespectful, no. Have a great day, my papayas." You could see somebody commenting to that being really rude, saying, "No, that's disrespectful, you dumb bitch. As a Muslim, I don't put Allah's name on my foot. It's not only disrespectful, it's disgusting. You, out of all people, should know this." So if that is really a Muslim, which I never believe people on X that don't have real photos in their picture, if that is really a Muslim, this is what they're saying is disrespectful. It's on her foot. But I don't think Amaya intended it to be disrespectful. I think she thought she would put it on her foot because she's walking with God. She responded saying, "The level of high respect I have for Allah and the Muslim religion is incredibly deep, which is why I got the tattoo in honor, respect, and value. People find anything I do to attack me. My intentions were never disrespectful. However, I understand the sensitivity and didn't mean to offend anyone." I think she's trying to come from an understanding place. I think she's saying people will find anything I do to attack me because it's true. That is what has happened to season 7 Love Islanders. Throughout the past year, people online have tried to find any reason to attack these people. And sometimes I get it, especially when we have to talk about the TV shows, what's happening on the TV shows. We're all going to have our feelings about it. I do think a lot of things get blown out of proportion and go on too long or go too far.
Amaya, just a little bit of feedback when it comes to apologies. Saying that people will find anything to attack you, it kind of minimizes people's outrage by saying like they were looking for an excuse to be mad versus them having a legitimate reason.
See, I disagree with this because I don't think Amaya was trying to minimize anything, because in the same tweets she said that I understand the sensitivity and I didn't mean to offend anyone. Well, at the same time, from Amaya's point of view and from other points of views of people on this cast that have been attacked for everything for the past year, I can understand how it feels that people would find anything to try and attack you for. There was another tweet towards her saying, "Intention doesn't excuse impact. I'm not sure if you consulted with your Muslim friends, but placing the name of God on your feet is highly disrespectful. Not sure why you chose your foot instead of some other body part. That's not disrespectful." Maya said, "I understand. I will do better to educate myself next time. Once again, my intentions were pure. I am sorry." I believe her, because why would she try and offend anyone by putting the tattoo on her foot? That doesn't make sense to me. I do think her intentions were pure. Were they probably dumb? Well, yes, because that is the kind of people we are dealing with from this past season. But yeah, this outrage has me worried for the new cast that will probably be released next week, I would assume, because people are going to find any reason to go back on their social medias and find a reason to cancel them or hate them. Some people, like Ulissa, deserved it last season. But I don't know. We're going to see what happens with the new cast. But yeah, this cast is still taking it on the chin until this new season does begin.